My 3 favorite games of 2024 are all remakes of games that came out before 2024. Think about that. 3 of my favorite games that came out this year were not made this year. And this got me thinking, why? What's up, guys? Welcome to another off-the-cuff video where I just speak what's on my heart. But before we get into that, be sure to like and subscrizzle. I'm trying to get to 60K. So my big question is, why, right? Why? Why are none of the games right now capturing my attention, capturing my heart like they used to when I was playing Suikoden, when I was playing Radiant Historia, when I played Parasite Eve, when I played Final Fantasy V, and I'm wondering, where's the creativity? That's where I'm at. I'm like, where's the creativity? So originally this was supposed to be like a Game Awards prediction video, but when I looked at the Game Award nominees, I was like, I didn't play any of these except for Metaphor ReFantazio. Final Fantasy, no. Elden Ring, no. Black Myth Wukong, no. So I was like, well, not even Echoes of Wisdom. I say this as a diehard Zelda fan, so shame on me. So many games and not enough time to play them. That's a whole other video. Maybe I'll do that next. But I think a core part of my frustration as of late is the creativity. Where's the creativity gone? I don't know if the gaming industry is now just like Hollywood, like we're out of ideas and we're just like throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks, or rather playing it safe. We're just not getting any new IPs from the big titles. Indie games are where it's at right now. Indie games, believe it or not, I'm like, oh snap. And I've been like dabbling more. I was thinking about doing some sort of end of the year video on indies that I've played, not beaten, but just like dabbled in, and I like beat the ones that like really stuck with me. And some of them have, and some of them, haven't. Not every indie game's a hit, but speaking on modern games, I'm just missing what I love about gaming, and I'm getting it from like all the remakes. I was just thinking about the games I really enjoyed this year are all from the past. Persona 3 Reload, which was Persona 3 FES, was my second Persona, and I really loved the story within that. It was something dark, it was something real, it was something terrifying, like it made me feel feelings, And then I look at Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. This was the first time I've ever played it, and I fell in love with it. One of the few games, I swear to you, that people like hype to high heaven, and it actually like met that hype. You have to like hype responsibly, right? This one, nah, go crazy. I think it's great. I think it's fan-effing-tastic. Kept me from beginning to end. I beat it so quickly because I could not put it down, smiling the entire time. And then Romancing Saga, I would have never played if Square didn't approach me first, and I'm so glad I did because it like blew my mind. And again, this is like an old game. Romancing Saga 2 originally came out December 10th, 1993. 1993! Games were cooking back then, apparently. Even though, yes, it probably was a lot harder and missing a ton of quality of life issues, sure. But that game filled me with such community, adventure, and excitement, and made me fall in love with gaming all over again. I even recently replayed Parasite Eve, at least up until the museum. I didn't beat it yet, but even that was more enjoyable than these modern games. Why? Why is that? Why is this game that came out in 1997 crushing it for me? Like, I'm just having the time of my life, and it is like a 10-hour game or something if you know what you're doing. So why aren't these new games doing that? Like, what are they missing? And I think it's missing creativity. Why do I not even want to buy modern games anymore? Like, sure, $70 price tag, yeah, a little steep, I agree, but I just want a game that I look at the trailer and I get like hyped for, excited for, and then it like lives up to that hype. And I'm saying like, ooh, crazy hype, but just like, wow, that was like, I walk away feeling really good, and I had a fulfilling experience, gave me something to think about, something to chew on, something to talk with people, like maybe we have different theories. I'm just not getting that. It's a little sad. And this has also led to me being more picky with the games I want to play and want to buy. I remember like October being stacked and I had to be very selective, or just like, this holiday season was pretty busy. And there are several games I didn't get to play. The Zelda game or Mario Brothership. Just so many games and not enough time to play them all. Also, they're all like 80, 100, 120 hours long now, I don't know, is the gaming industry running out of ideas? Was like the old hardware the way, where limitations breed creativity? Or we got games like Suikoden or Final Fantasy VI, Chrono Trigger, Parasite Eve, or maybe even like The World Ends With You. I understand that's not like SNES era, but like that game, when it came out, it did something new. You know, sure, it was a little gimmicky, but it had a great story, fantastic cast, and really weird, but like once you got the hang of it, rewarding gameplay, you know. And then we did get a sequel, and the sequel, gameplay wise, was amazing. I actually love, oh my god, Neo The World Ends With You. Oh, gameplay fire. Story, didn't really care. Another thing is companies are less likely to take risks now. You know, games are so expensive to make, and I get it, everything has gotten more expensive, am I right? I don't think most people need these 80 to 100 hour games. You know, I think many people would pay good money, $60, for a 20, 30, dare I say even 40-hour RPG, but it's tight-knit, you know, there's no filler. It's just straight to the point. Everything you do, you know, moves the story along or enhances the story in some way, shape, form, or fashion. I'm not even like anti-side quest, right? Yeah, people would just pay good money for that. But for some reason, I don't know how we got here, where bigger is better, right? Just give me a solid cast, this small, decent-sized world to explore with like a captivating villain, and I'm good to go. You know, I feel like we fall into this trap of like, everything has to be bigger, more extreme, you know, more explosive, more mind-blowing, more da-da-da. And I'm like, actually, why don't we just like reel it in, you know? Less development time while, you know, honing in on a specific story that the storyteller wants to tell. I think the last successful new JRPG IP that I can think of is Octopath Traveler. And there's also Metaphor, and we're gonna talk about that too. But Octopath Traveler, you know, it got a sequel. And I loved it. It was great. But I don't think they changed much from Octopath Traveler 1 to 2, if memory serves me. Now, Metaphor I got a little beef with, right? Let me preface this by saying Metaphor is a great game. I think Metaphor is a good game. You know, I enjoyed my time with Metaphor. Metaphor also disappointed me. Why? Because as Atlus's new pillar, new baby, I was expecting something new. And in the story and character development or character portion of it, sure, it did that. Like a whole new world. You know, while in Persona games, we're in Shinjuku, Shibuya, you know, we have like a baseline of like what to expect. But this whole new world of Metaphor, there's new races, new cultures, new cities that we know nothing about. So we're starting from ground zero, which is exciting. We have a whole cast of characters, all of different races. Super cool, super fun. We love that. Where my disappointment came from was the gameplay. It really did feel like fantasy Persona more than I wanted. We have the press turn system and then Persona mechanics, right? We have the calendar, we have the social links and your social ranking skills. You know, I was like, oh, fantasy Persona. It was Persona and SMT, right? Because they took the press turn system. And let me be clear, I fucking love the press turn system, okay? I love it. I think it's, I would say it's either, depends on the day. It's either press turn system, SMT, or Radiant Historia. Maybe even Grandia. Like, they're like my top three off the top of my head, right, of gameplays. Metaphor just took SMT and Persona and then kind of, and I was hoping for something new. Like, I really wanted Metaphor to be like new. It missed that mark for me. It functioned fine, like it functioned well. It did what it needed to do, but it was not what I was personally looking forward to seeing in Metaphor. It saddens me because Atlus had an opportunity to try something new. Like with Strange Journey, while admittedly I'm not crazy about the co-op attacks, at least it was something different. At least it was something new and I can praise it for that. You know, not my cup of tea, but I could praise it for it. Metaphor, it was like they took red and blue and tried to like mash it together to make something new, but they didn't mix it well enough, so it never came out purple. You could still see the streaks of red and blue, you know, versus purple, a new color. Does that make sense? I also understand when game companies do try something like Forspoken. That was not successful, so of course they're like scared. And just continuing on the topic that nobody wants to make anything new anymore, I feel like people always want to make continuations, right? They want to make the next Star Wars, I don't know what number we're on, like 18, 19, 20, you know, versus like, wow, here's Star Wars. I like sci-fi. I really enjoy Star Wars, but I want to make my own thing. But what did I like about Star Wars? And take that and now mold it into something new, something that speaks to me. And if it speaks to me, hopefully it speaks to others. Maybe not even like directly. Like I don't need like something equivalent to a Jedi, but how Jedis are handled. Or maybe the Star Wars pacing or how they created their world. But something like that and then mold it into something new. There are some indie games coming out, right, that are like Earthbound successor or Breath of Fire successor, which is nice, but I want them to be their own thing. Like a game that did that exceptionally well was Undertale. Undertale clearly had inspiration from Earthbound, but to me, Undertale is not Earthbound. At most, you could say it has the like quirky, silly writing of Earthbound, but it's not Earthbound. It tells a totally different story, completely different characters. You don't have a whole party. The gameplay is so different, and I love that it kind of combines, right, like JRPGs or like RPG, I guess, and then bullet hell. You know, it created its own thing. I like that Undertale looked at Earthbound. It was like, cool, I really like these aspects of Earthbound. I'm going to take it, mold it into something completely new, my own thing. I think Undertale truly stands on its own. It doesn't feel like, oh, just an Earthbound clone. No, it feels like Undertale. And that is something I want from modern gaming. Undertale made something unique, new, different, exciting, thrilling, horrifying, and it stands on its own, baby. Another indie game I actually really want to play, but I'm waiting for the physical release in like February, is the Plucky Squire. That game looks super fun, meshing a bunch of different genres into one game. I've heard some opinions that it wasn't as great as it looked. I think maybe it was too easy, or maybe the difficulty spikes. I don't know, I haven't played it yet, but at least that game to me, I was like, oh. Like I saw the trailer and I was like, oh, I'm excited. Like, huh, it's new, what is this? You know, and that's what I want gaming to get back to. But yeah, that's what's been on my mind lately. I want games to be as great as they were back in the day. That same creativity, that same experimentation, fun characters. I don't think every character needs to be this complex, like multifaceted person. I don't mind one-note characters. Like, listen, I love Kratos, okay, from God of War, like the original, like back in the day. Now he's a little bit more dynamic, which is fine. I do like current day Kratos as well. So yeah, how are you guys feeling about modern gaming? Am I off my rocker? Am I onto something here? Are you guys like also feeling the mediocrity of gaming as of late? Like, I can't even say it's nostalgia, right? Because I don't have nostalgia for Paper Mario. I don't have nostalgia for Romancing Saga 2. Parasite Eve, I mean, like, yeah, I replayed it, I guess, a few years ago, but like, I don't know, I'm still having fun with it. Like, even the Trails of games, you know, the Kiseki series, I'm having more fun with. You know, like, don't get me wrong, like, the pacing, but like, the battle system is fun, and I like that it's doing something new, right? It's like, oh no, we're gonna have a whole series that spans across, I don't know how many games there are now, like what, 15, 16 or something? And I actually really do like the combat system of Trails. Watch next year, I'm gonna be all about Tales of Grace's F and Trails in the Sky the First, which are both gonna be remakes, remaster. I don't know what else is coming out next year. I hope it's something new and exciting and filled with creativity and passion and love for gaming. Okay, I think I'm gonna wrap it up for real. I'm gonna end it with this. Next year, because your girl has dabbled in the forbidden art of the M to the Eulation, I found some games I'm so excited to play. Like, I'm really excited to go back to old games, because I feel like that's just like where my heart's at. You know, these modern games just aren't hitting for me as hard as I would like them to. And I am looking forward to Lufia, I think is the one. Is it Lufia or Lunar? Well, I get those two mixed up. One of those is coming out next year, right? So I am looking forward to that. Suikoden also, Suikoden remasters. But also, I think it's Legend of Legaia. Whatever the game is where you have to pick like high kick, low kick, punch, kick, like you like line it up and then you do some kind of combo. Whatever that game is, I got that game in the chamber. So I'm actually really excited because I've heard nothing but great things. And again, it calls to me because it's something I've never like experienced before. You know, I think maybe that's another thing. That's what it is. I feel like playing a lot of same series, it's not as stimulating for me, right? Because now when I play like SMT games, I know what to expect. Like, I know the press turn system. So I'm like, okay, so it's not that you have to think less, but it's just, I don't have to learn. There's not particularly a learning curve for me. So that's why I'm really looking forward to like going back and being like, oh, this is how this works. Oh, interesting. You know, like learning something new, I think is kind of part of the fun. And I like that little learning curve as a challenge. Anyways, if you like videos like these, be sure to pitch more video ideas in the comment section, like just gaming ideas that you want me to talk about. Hopefully I get better at this. This is also like a skill I'm trying to hone, is just talking into the camera and just speaking what's on my mind, and come what may, you know? Sorry if this video was a little discombobulated. So until next time, Mwah.